everyone. Welcome. My name is Tracy Dyer, and I work in investor relations for DXD Capital. We're so excited to have you all here today to share with you our San Antonio, Texas investment opportunity. Today, you'll be hearing from Drew Dolan, Principal and Fund Manager, Tyler McKee, Development Manager, and Martha Leader, Director of Investor Relations, all of whom will tell you why San Antonio, Texas is such a wonderful place to invest. Without further ado, I'll pass it over to Drew to tell you a little bit more about San Antonio.
Thank you, Tracy. My name's Drew Dolan. I'm one of the principals and founders here at DXD Capital, and I want to talk a bit about what we like about this project. Of course, it's on the far west side of San Antonio, near Alamo Ranch. Not only is this one of the fastest growing areas of San Antonio, but it's one of the fastest growing areas of Texas. This graph, I think, is really telling in that San Antonio, the dark blue, and Austin in the orange have really kept pace with each other in terms of population growth over the last 2 years. What I find really fascinating is over the last handful of months in 2024, San Antonio's population growth has been significantly above Austin's population growth. And one of the key reasons behind that is that Austin's just become very unaffordable for median income homeowners, whereas San Antonio still has affordable homes. And so you see a lot of people from Austin who might work remotely or might work along I-35 between the two, moving to San Antonio just to afford bigger, better homes. Looking at zip codes specifically, our zip code was the 8th fastest growing zip code in the country. And then looking specifically at San Antonio, it was the fastest growing, largest zip code in the whole San Antonio metro area. And then, just diving in specifically to the growth around us, because we really, in a market like this, building into a growth market is really key. So we want to understand what new single family, what new multifamily are coming online. So looking specifically in our submarket for the residential growth, there's been about 1,100 single family home starts in our 3 mile over the last year. And there's another 9,000 homes in planning. And that's on the higher end of anything we look at in the US in terms of the amount of single family growth around us. And then we've got 5,100 new multifamily units in planning or under construction or in lease up in the 3 mile around us. And what I think is really good for us, if you look on the 1604 going south, those 4 or 5 projects are really right off the 1604, and those have about 2,300 new multifamily units. And so that is minutes away from our site, to get there in terms of traveling to storing your goods. And of course, we know the number one decision for all storage users is how far is it from my house? How long is it going to take for me to get there? And of course, the single family home values in San Antonio have done really well since 2016 over the last 8 years. And you can see that from a overall home value, this zip code 78253 has really done the best in terms of values. And of course, what does that mean for self-storage? That incomes have not kept up with the price of buying or renting a home. And so we know if somebody could afford a 3-bedroom home in 2016, yes, they've had an increase in income that they could put towards a mortgage payment, but it hasn't kept up with the price of housing. So now they have to downsize into a 2-bedroom. And that means that they have extra stuff that should go to storage or goes in the garage gets full and it goes to storage. So increases in home prices or multifamily prices are ultimately good for the self-storage business. And just taking a sample of the homes for sale around us, the average listing price is $350. That's really right down the fairway for the type of renter that uses storage. A lot of single family homeowners where kids are getting older, they're storing things their kids used 5 years ago, and they're saving them, or people upsizing or downsizing, whereas storage just becomes really a part of their lifestyle. One of the things we really love about this property is the grade, the slope of the property across the site. A lot of other real estate classes don't do well with grade. Self-storage actually does really well if you can design the building to utilize the grade. And here we designed the building so that 2 of our floors have ground level access. That to us is a huge benefit because we know that ground level access gets a premium over elevator access. So for example, on a 5x10, that premium is about 12%. On a 10x10, that premium is about 10%. So we have 68% of the building getting ground level premiums. And typically on a property, 3-story property, we would have only 33% getting ground level premiums. So this is a huge bonus for us in terms of revenue. And the site really worked out perfectly to get that grade level access on 2 floors. So now I'm going to turn it over to Tyler. He's been working on this project from day one. He's our Texas development lead, and he's going to tell you all about the site and what's going on around it and why we like it.
Thanks, Drew, for the introduction and handing that off. I want to reiterate, my name is Tyler McKee, and I am the deal lead on this project, DXD Alamo Ranch out in San Antonio. And having been to the market multiple times to go look at the site through due diligence and meet with contractors in the city, I've been out there and had the chance to walk the yard and see what's going on in and around our property. So we're going to start with some of the major developments in the area, which are hospitals. And anytime you have hospital expansion in a market, it's a great sign for growth and an already bustling population. So we look at these 2 opportunities that are coming to the market, and the Methodist Hospital just to the north of us is a $150 million project. And just to the south of us is a $300 million Westover Hills Medical Campus project, which is a pristine, state-of-the-art, right on the freeway frontage. You can see it from a mile away hospital. It's within a half mile of our subject site, as you can see on this map. It's going to bring a ton of community involvement along with employees to our trade area, which enhances the ability for us to lease up and make this project work. When we talk about other parts of the growth story involved in this San Antonio market, a big play on that is the Austin communities and demographic moving down to San Antonio. As you can see on this graph, over 55% of the Zillow searches in the San Antonio market come from Austin. So you can see people are kind of being priced out of those homes. They've either lived there or rented for a while, and they're trying to move into a house or a lifelong home or upgrade, and they're seeing opportunities down in Austin, and that's bringing a ton of demographic and a ton of new population to the market that has a strong demographic and background. A lot of this comes from the Alamo Ranch development, which was the basis behind our name. It was one of the biggest developments in San Antonio at the time a few years ago, and everybody was very excited, and the homes were very nice, immaculate built, and they're all throughout the market, thousands of homes that got developed, and that community is just thriving, and it's done excellent through these years. And that was kind of the crux of this far west movement and population growth. More on that affluence when you break it down into kind of a median household income by parcels, and this is from census data. You can see our market is flooded with people 90,000 plus median household incomes, and that's just another testament to what type of market we're in, what type of demographic we bring, and what the customer base is going to be derived of. These parcels on this map are essentially our trade area and our customer, and this is exactly what we look for in a property like this. when we talk about rates and how that affluence and population growth kind of comes into play, we like to talk about achieved rates. We have a great relationship with Extra Space, who will actually be managing this property. They have multiple facilities in the area that are doing really well and achieving strong rates and strong occupancies. We wanted to make that apparent here relative to what we're pro-forming or expecting our rents to be. If you take a look at this, you can see that top green line. That facility is the most comparable facility to ours in the market. They're achieving just over $21 a foot on an annual basis. When we look at what we're trying to achieve year one, you can see we're significantly below that, and we kind of work our way up into year three stabilized rates. And you can see we're still below that $21 mark in our stabilized 3-year rate. So very strong market, very strong rates. We're semi-conservative. We're not too conservative. We want to get to that achieved rate, but we want to make sure we're doing it on time and correctly. With that said, this market holds its own on rates, and that's due to the affluence and growth in the market with an already sustainable population of over 100,000 in the 3 mile. More on that. When you talk about a trade area, you kind of want to be in the epicenter of the trade area. You want to be where people go at the end of their day, or to start their day, or to go shopping, or go fulfill their entertainment needs. And that's exactly where we are. If you can see this map, you can see this cars per day stats, and we're pulling right off of that loop. We're located right on that freeway, and that drive is 42,618 cars a day. On top of that, this 151 freeway coming from the page southeast to the northwest, coming up that freeway has 32,000 cars per day. So we're achieving around 75,000 cars per day with that coming right to our site, right on that access loop. Very strong, right in the middle of everything that goes on in that market. And we'll see a little bit more of that on this next slide. The reason those traffic counts are so high and the reason we want to be in this area is because of this right here. We got Target, we got Home Depot, we got Dick's Sporting Goods, we got Best Buy, Lowe's. I mean, we have 4 facilities that are doing over 1 million traffic counts a year, 1 million people coming to those facilities right on top of us. And you can see that based on traffic counts on the freeways we just spoke about. But these are things that people go to daily, things that if you're going to store something, you're going to go to your storage facility on your way home. So as you can tell, this is kind of a big part of why we think we're in a great location and have amazing access to people on their day-to-day life. And that's going to be most of our consumer base. When we stretch that out a little bit, being on a freeway, we like to look at drive time, because we're going to pull a little bit further and we're going to reach people that maybe you wouldn't reach if you didn't have the access we had on that freeway front. When you drive, when you think about a 15-minute drive time, we have a population of approximately 450,000 people. This is a strong indicator of good lease up, being able to stabilize and hold stabilized occupancies well into the future, while being able to increase rates at stabilization. So this is all backing to, we have plenty of demand in this market to fulfill these needs for storage and get us up to a high occupancy with high rates. This is more of that story about Extra Space that we spoke about earlier, being one of the major REITs in the country, and we use them on projects all over the nation. But this project particularly, we feel very good about having them on for our platform and our facility. They have other facilities in the market. We've had multiple conversations with them. They think it is an extremely strong market, and they think this facility will do really well based on how their other facilities are achieving rates and occupancies above 93%. They're the team that we want on this project, and they want to work with us on this project. We're both really excited about where this is located and how it's going to perform. So that's who we're rolling with, and that's what we got going. And I'm going to hand this off to Martha to talk about the timelines and investment returns. But thanks for your time, guys, and look forward to meeting you and seeing you in the future.
Thank you, Tyler, and thank you, Drew. It's always really fun to dig into a market more specifically on these webinars. Thank you so much for taking a little time with us today. I'm going to go over the net investor expected returns and a bit more on our timeline. So we have a total capitalization here of about 13.8 million. And we expect the net investor IRR to be a 19.76 on a 4-year. And we also expect a 2.47 equity multiple on that 7-year time horizon. A bit more on our timeline here. We expect to close on the land in mid-July, which means we'll sign all documentation and call the first 50% of your commitment in the beginning of July. We'll call the remainder at the end of the summer when we start vertical construction. Again, thank you so much for taking time with us. We look forward to answering your questions and working with you.